Couldn't be more tired spending the night at the emergency room the other day, Tallene.
Yeah, well...
Speaking of fatigue and brain fog.
Not
to worry anybody. Not human emergency room. We're at
the vet
emergency room at midnight because... Again, just like the fish oil story, why don't you explain what happened?
You guys. What's my life coming to?
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reversed them naturally.
There I was in my bathroom, minding my own business. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm going to take this late shower. Actually, no, I wasn't taking a shower. I had the tub going. I was like, I'm going to relax. Today was a long day. I had the tub flowing.
Earlier in the day, just to give a quick behind the scenes, Tallene was driving her sister. And as they were driving on the freeway, they got a flat tire. And Tallene had to pull over in the middle of like a divider where basically, where when the freeways separate, like a fork in the road, literally. And she was in the middle of that divider with a flat tire waiting for help. So she was panicking.
I was stressed. It was my sister's car. I felt bad. She was all calm. I was all cortisol-y, whatever.
Yeah.
So I came home and I said, let's have dinner. Then I'm going to get in the tub.
And relax.
So I take off my clothes and I'm washing my face. And Sirak's like, you should take the dog with you. Aha, it's your fault.
Oh, just what a woman thing to do.
Oh,
that's right. That is somehow put the blame onto the husband. What a wife thing to do. I said, let the dog lay by you while you're in the tub. I see people on TikTok and Instagram do that. The dog puts their lips over the bowl and they're like looking at you. I see that kind of stuff. I wanted that for you. I wanted you to have that moment.
Thank you. So I was washing my face and I like to do the face mask that Clear Stem has while I'm in the tub. Okay, not to get into all the details. You know, that reel where it's like me trying to tell a story and you get into like all the details and the person listening is like, hurry up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's so me. So I'm doing my face mask. I'm not paying attention. I look down and I see the dog. She's like laying on my clothes. She likes the smell of my sweater, whatever. So before I get in the tub, I like to clean up the bathroom because when I'm in the tub, I want to see like a clean, beautiful bathroom. I don't want to see clothes everywhere. I want to feel like I'm in a spot.
It's funny because every other time it's freaking full of shit on the floor.
No, it's not.
Oh, please. You leave the room with the stuff always on the floor.
Sometimes, but it's temporary. Unlike
like
you, leaves everything out, waits for me to fold it and put it back.
That's not true. That is defamation of my character. Defamation. Okay. You literally leave clothes with the underwear inside the leggings.
To the story yet.
Sorry.
So then I said, let me pick up my clothes. Let me put it in the hamper. Okay. So I'm picking up my clothes and I can't find my underwear. It's like one of those seamless thongs from Calvin Klein. You know? The really light ones that like you can't tell
we get it.
When you're wearing something over it. And I was like, that's weird. Like maybe she hid it from me. So I'm looking all around the bathroom for this underwear. I cannot find it. There's no way. There's no hiding place. Like it's either here or it's not.
Did I take it?
And then I was like, maybe I just put it in the hamper without realizing it. You know, when you do things without thinking, I check, it's not there. I'm like, you know what? I think the dog ate my underwear. My thong. So I call Sirak, who's washing dishes, and I'm like, can you come here for a second? And I'm like, this and this happened. He comes over. We're looking. We can't find the underwear. We're just staring at each other like, now what? And I was like, I don't know. I've never had a dog before. So we decided to call the 24-hour vet and we told them we think this is what happened. They said, bring her immediately so we can make her throw up so she doesn't need like a stomach intestine surgery of some sort.
Just so anyone knows, you have basically like 3 hours max until whatever they swallowed.
2 hours.
They said 2 to 4.
Oh.
I'll give you 3 as an average.
Okay.
They basically said 2 to 4 hours until that whatever they ate goes into their intestines and like it's now they have to do surgery or some sort of manual retrieval.
Thousands of dollars of
go
surgery.
Within the hour soon as you can.
So we rush over there. We're rushing over there. No, we're not even. Okay, when I say rush, we're driving like normal people. We exit the freeway. It's in some alley. Sirak's driving slowly.
Yeah, I'm like going 5 miles per hour to find it.
It's 11:30 at night. We get pulled over.
We're also in like a ghetto car. Like my car is like a 20-year-old car because we don't want to buy another car. Okay. Trying to save money here.
We're in this car. We're like driving slowly through an alley. So we get pulled over. I'm in the back with the dog. I'm so annoyed. Like, I'm on another level, you guys. I'm so annoyed that like this was my fault and like I can't believe it. And why? Like, I wanted to get in the tub. I already had a flat tire today. Like, how could it all happen at once? Sirak handled it. I didn't say anything.
I was like, it's like I watched Cops like 10 seasons.
Both hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
It's like
kept my hands on the wheel. My wallet was on my lap. So when he asked for it, I was like, it's on my lap. I'm going to grab it. Okay. And then when he's like, and your registration, I was like, it's in the glove box. May I get it? Boom. You know, it was all like cordial.
And then he was like, have you been arrested before?
I was like, no.
It's like handling it in such a way.
And then he's like, okay, we were literally in the parking lot of the vet and the dogs in the back with Tallene. So obviously the cops realized, okay, these people are here for the vet.
Yeah.
So he let us go. He was very chill, good guy. But yeah. And then just to kind of like finish up the story.
Finish up the story, babe.
No, you
I
said
dragged it on too long.
We basically got to inside the vet and it was really quick. Literally in 20 minutes, they had her all fixed up. I guess what they do now is I thought they were going to like put something in her throat to make her throw up.
Too.
Or they were going to give her like, I heard, what was it? There's like, what is that thing you put on wounds?
I don't
The liquid?
know.
What is it called? Okay. Anyway,
Hydrogen peroxide.
yes, I heard that makes dogs throw up if they drink it.
Oh.
But essentially, they just gave her an IV, and then that just makes her throw up. And then she was all good, all done. And they
totally
confirmed.
fine
Oh,
after.
they confirmed, by the way, that the thong came out.
All of a sudden, we hear them go, yay! And we're like, okay, what's going on? They come out. They're like, we got the underwear. Do you want to take it home and wash it? I was like, no.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Absolutely not. I can do without it.
And like a funny ending to that too was like we were asking the person who was helping, and she said that this is very common, and actually like a lot of times spouses like husbands, when their dog eats the underwear, it's actually like whoever they're having an affair with.
She said that happens like multiple times.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I was like, what?
That's so crazy.
What?
Whatever. So
Anyways.
the dog's fine. I'm fine. I took a bath.
These husbands
later,
are dating
but
these girls with G-strings or something. I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, all right.
Now I'm scared to death. I can't leave the dog alone because I feel like she's going to eat something.
Yeah. She's outside right now staring at us, or sleeping actually.
Sleeping.
She's so cute. Okay, well, let's get into today's episode. What are we actually even talking about?
We're talking about brain fog and fatigue.
Yes.
This is a commonly overlooked PCOS symptom because it's not something that you can actually see. So when you go to the doctor's office, sometimes it's not really taken seriously. And, you know, you can be gaslit and there are multiple factors that play into it. And we could just, you know, say it's whatever and move on, right? Mm-hmm. But it actually is linked to hormonal imbalances and inflammation and insulin resistance. All of these things can disrupt your neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and that can make you feel tired all the time and have brain fog where you can't follow conversations and like people are talking to you, but you're like barely listening, you're yawning, you can't keep up with what they're saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's also linked to like hormonal imbalances, inflammation.
Yeah. I mentioned that.
I'm so sorry. I was reading Christie's one of the things. So I you know what? I'm caught. I wasn't really listening. It was going in one ear and going out the other. You know what, Ty? You do that to me all the time.
Tell us what you were... Did you just have brain fog? Tell us what you were reading.
I was reading Christie's win of the week.
What did she say? Go on.
Okay, well, Christy says...
From the Sisterhood.
She says, just day 2 of these morning walks and I feel amazing. My brain fog has not plagued me through the day. I don't feel near the anxiety I am used to while at work. Before I would exercise at the gym for an hour and a half after work and I actually felt worse. Made almost 3 miles this morning in about an hour. Amazing. I have always been a night person because I couldn't make myself get up early. So I was up until 2, 3 in the morning and then struggling all day. This week I've been falling asleep with 30 minutes of going to bed. Amazing. Going to consistently keep this going for the next 30 days and slowly add some slow weighted workouts and do measurements. I'm not so focused on pounds lost, but more on how I feel and look visually to myself. That is amazing, Christy.
That's amazing.
That is a great way to go on your PCOS journey, not focus on the scale, but focus rather on how you feel and just more so like how are things fitting, because the scale sometimes doesn't move, but your body composition changes.
Yes.
Fat weighs less than muscle. So as you're converting fat into muscle, you might not get that immediate weight reduction. So that's exactly a great way to look at things.
I love that. And then I'll read the next win we have from Lucenda. She says, I've been trying gluten-free and mostly dairy-free for a couple days now and have been on the Metabolism Plus supplements for about a week and a half. I have to say I've started to notice a boost in my energy the same week I started the vitamins, and it was extremely exciting to not fight my chronic fatigue and brain fog as much. As for the gluten and dairy-free, as of today, I've really started to notice quite a bit less bloating, and that makes it really encouraging for me to keep trying things out. Time to start incorporating exercise in after I get this diet down.
Yes. All right.
Awesome.
With that being said, let's go into our top strategies to reverse that brain fog as well as fatigue. So number one is going to be dietary adjustment. So something that we talk a lot about is insulin resistance. As we know, insulin resistance can really impact how you feel throughout the day. And it's certain foods that we know are better for insulin sensitivity and some, oh wow, I didn't say it the right way, insulin sensitivity, and some that are worse. Now, some things that we always talk about on this podcast is gluten and dairy. And if you're sensitive to it, how it can impact literally not just your insulin resistance, but your inflammation, your bloating, your gut health, but also fatigue and brain fog.
Yes. As you can see from Lucenda, the previous win that I read, she went gluten and dairy free and felt absolutely amazing for her fatigue and brain fog. And that's because gluten and dairy both have proteins in them. Dairy has casein and gluten has glucomorphine. And so that casein converts into casomorphine, and casomorphine and glucomorphine can pass through the blood-brain barrier and work on your brain, making you feel addicted to these foods and also fatigued and have brain fog. Not to mention the chronic inflammation that it can cause women who are sensitive to these foods.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to try it for 30 days to see how you feel. And if you feel like the clouds kind of lift and the weight kind of lifts off your shoulders, that's a sign that gluten and dairy are two foods that you're sensitive to. And maybe if you continue, you'll continue to see different benefits from being gluten and dairy free.
Yeah. There was even like a LA Times article where they literally said cheese is crack. Like that's what, and they broke this down. They talked about how the casein converts into casomorphine. Oh, that is Kismet.
Excuse us.
Just gonna continue. Or?
Just fine.
She's in the barking stage. Kismet, no, calm down. Good girl. All right. And then, of course, with gluten, also there's also intestinal permeability. It leads to leaky gut, where it allows inflammatory particles like the glutamorphine to enter the blood-brain barrier, which again leading to brain fog, fatigue, mental sluggishness. So it's like inflammation, insulin levels,
resistance,
all
and then
that.
it affects your neurotransmitters.
Yes.
All right. Next thing that can help with fatigue and brain fog is doing slow weighted exercises 3 to 4 times a week instead of burning out with intense cardio. I remember I was doing really intense cardio when I was in college. I went to kickboxing class and then I would stay for the next class. I would run 5 miles around the track. Like I thought I was doing all the right things to lose weight, but I couldn't focus in class whatsoever. I had to spend hours pounding material into my brain and trying to get it to stick, and I couldn't because my cortisol was so high from all of these intense workouts that I was doing.
Yeah.
So I've never felt better lifting weights.
Yeah, I mean, and let us know if you've gone through this experience, but basically when you're doing these intense workouts, you're constantly elevating your cortisol levels. And studies show that women with PCOS have cortisol dysregulation, where they're not able to lower down the cortisols as well as people without PCOS or hormonal imbalances. So what ends up happening is you have your workout, your cortisol gets high, but then it doesn't go down. And then at night, you're not able to get into deep REM sleep, you're not able to get good sleep, which then affects insulin resistance. One bad night of sleep can impact insulin resistance up to like 40% or more.
The next day. So all of this has a trickling down effect. The high cortisol levels now makes you less insulin sensitive, and now you're not only are you experiencing symptoms from being stressed out, the high cortisol, but now you're also having more cravings. And you're more hungry because your body is not able to manage the insulin levels as well. Yeah.
All right. Not to mention the studies have shown that resistance training can improve memory, attention, and problem-solving skills. So those are some
definitely, like when I work out, I feel like a different person for the rest of the day. Like it really just creates that blood flow to my brain, gets me going.
Yeah.
So speaking of cortisol, stress management is another key component to managing fatigue and brain fog. When you're stressed, you're not able to retain information. Like you're just worried in fight or flight mode. You're not focused on what's happening. You're not coming up with solutions. You're not leaning into your creativity. And I'm talking specifically about myself. So when I'm stressed, I can't record reels for Instagram. I can't even cook a delicious meal. Like if I'm stressed, I'm cooking bad. If I'm annoyed, the food sucks. Sirak knows that this is like a direct correlation to like how good dinner is going to be. If I'm annoyed, it's going to be shit. No.
Well, I mean,
But-
a lot of times you do, Tyne does an amazing job with dinner. I just want to say like 99.9, 100% of the time. No. I mean, sometimes I have like feedback, of course, but like it's just a form of getting things better, you know? It's like eat the bread twice. No, I'm just kidding. No, Tyne like literally does an amazing job with dinner. So no matter what time, you always do great.
If I'm stressed, it's bad though, seriously. But what was the point of what I'm saying? So basically, when I was in college, like I said, I worked out a lot. I couldn't focus in class. And part of it was because that cortisol was so freaking high. And any little thing that happened would freak me out. And like I couldn't even like walk down the hall to my dorm without feeling like someone's following me. Like it was this this crazy feeling of like panic all the time. And I stayed in that like panic mode every day when I went and I worked out, and I induced that panic mode every time. And then I would have tests and I would have anxiety about the test. And then I would be so tired that like I couldn't even focus during the test. And like it really affected my ability to like enjoy college, I want to say. But I have a really strong work ethic, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that carried me through and got me to grad school and like all of these things. But it did take a lot more out of me than I looked around than other people.
Yeah.
And then I also like I once
You're fighting like this uphill battle.
yeah, it was an uphill battle the whole time. Everyone else was like like my friend would just like
For a lot of people
retain
too, in that
information.
situation.
But I also want to mention that like one time I got a message from a sister who said that she, after joining the Sisterhood and reversing her PCOS symptoms, signed up for law school because it affected her brain fog. The PCOS was affecting her brain fog so negatively, she didn't believe that she could get through it.
Wow.
Law school's so expensive. You don't want to like start something that you don't really believe that you can do, you know, like you just have anxiety the whole time. So reversing her PCOS changed the trajectory of her life in that way. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, that was a few years ago, and I'll never forget it because I was like, wow, like, you know, I get what she's saying. Like that, I definitely, if I was into law, like I definitely wouldn't have gone to law school after college, after how much I went through trying to learn and retain information.
Yeah. I just want to say too, to that sister, I mean, help us out, you know, give us some free lawyer services, as they say, litigation or whatever. I'm just kidding.
You don't need it. We're good. All right, next.
Cool.
Next thing that can help with fatigue and brain fog is adequate sleep, of course. And if you have PCOS, the sleep is always a struggle, but we always talk about honing in on your nightly routine. We even have podcast episodes about it. So making sure you're not staring at screens and blue lights, and making sure you're not doing intense workouts or raising your cortisol with caffeine all day, because that's going to affect your sleep at night.
Yeah, exactly.
And then last but not least is supplements.
Yeah, so supplements can also do an amazing job in supplementing your brain health. Of course, the other tips that we mentioned are going to have the most important effect because it's going to change your lifestyle, but it's going to be also really important at some point to supplement with supplements if you need it. And number one will be omega-3. Fish oil will be number one on our list because they've been shown in so many studies to improve brain health, focus, memory, so many it even goes, it improves cognitive decline, or say protects against cognitive decline, which is really important, right? As you know, ours is right here from the Metabolism Plus bundle, the omega-3. And of course, as we always say, if you do look for an omega-3, just make sure it's NSF certified and it comes from fish that sourced from cold water fish.
Yes.
Just to kind of explain, it should be sourced from cold water fish, and the fish should be small fish. Ours are from pollock. They're small fish. The reason why you want small fish is because bigger fish, for example, like tuna, can have higher rates of mercury because they're bigger fish. They eat, the smaller fish, and that builds up more and more. Smaller fish will not get as much of that mercury contamination into them. And then continuing with the supplements, of course, is also B vitamins. I'm sure as you've heard it, but PCOS women can actually be deficient in B vitamins, and that can contribute to brain fog as well as fatigue. So you might want to take a lab test to see if you are deficient in B vitamins. It's very, very common for PCOS women as well as general public at this point. And our multivitamin, our PCOS multivitamin has the B vitamins that I mentioned, B6, B12, both of these play a critical role for brain fog and energy. And some other extra ones to keep in mind too, like if you want to try more, lion's mane mushroom is one that's been shown through lots of studies as well as like anecdotal stories of how it can help with brain fog. And then creatine. So creatine is something that's usually talked about for like working out, post-workout, pre-workout, that kinds of things. But creatine has actually been shown in really strong studies to improve cognitive function. I take it personally after my workouts to improve with muscle recovery. But lately I've been thinking maybe I should take it in the mornings to also help with just like, brain health throughout the day and focus. Yeah.
Supplements can play a huge role in your brain fog, fatigue, and focus. So
yes.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. Amazing. So hopefully this episode was helpful in helping with your brain fog and helping with your energy levels. If you're interested in any of the supplements, again, you can find them all in the description of this podcast episode. And yeah, just remember, if you are about to take a shower, don't throw your underwear in the direction of your dog.
Yes.
And if you're the husband, don't even mention anything about the dog being with the wife because it will somehow come back to you. No, just kidding.
All right, sisters.
We love y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And until next time, we'll see you on the socials, in the private Facebook group, in the Sisterhood, anywhere you wait. Anywhere you need
go.
us.
Need us.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.